What is everyone, this is Mark from MTM Lists Everything, and today we're going to do top 5 mistakes that cost people millions. In at number 5, we have a British man who was mining bitcoins all the way back in 2009. James managed to accumulate 7,500 of them, which is pretty impressive, but at the time it was basically worthless, so he probably should have spent his time doing something else. And if you don't know how bitcoins work, just Google it, it will explain it. But basically you have to store an incredibly long sort of code in an offline wallet to sort of keep them safe. And he done this, but at the time they were worthless, so just chucked the hard drive to a side somewhere. But unfortunately he managed to spill a drink on it and chuck the hard drive away. But if he had those 7,500 bitcoins now, they will be worth about £19 million. £19 million. He must feel sick. In at number 4, we have a British couple who in 2010 managed to throw away $181 million. What happened? They entered into the Euro Millions and the numbers come up. But unfortunately, the husband being a clean freak, I would imagine, because throw away 181 million, you must be pretty desperate to get rid of that lottery ticket. He threw it in the bid by mistake, obviously not realising that he had won. He would have been on the rich list. It's so much money, if you dropped it on your foot it would hurt. They must have been feeling sick for years and years. But on the upside, $181 million was split between many charities, so ironically it probably done more good to other people than it would have to them. In at number 3, we have Fox throwing away $20 billion. George Lucas wanted Star Wars to be made, but Fox were being tight because they thought it was going to flop, which is a fair assessment at the time. If you look at sci-fi films before then, they weren't that popular. So to try and keep the costs down, they decided to only pay him $350,000 for George Lucas's work, but to give him all the rights to the toys and merchandise. To this day, these toys and merchandise have generated over $20 billion in license fees. $20 billion! That was a good choice. When Apple first started, there were 3 men: Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak and Ronald Wayen. Ronald Wayen is famous for making the first ever Apple logo, and it's not the Apple you look at now, but still it's impressive. And at the time he owned 10% of Apple, but because he was worried about his inexperienced co-workers Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak, he decided to sell his 10% stake in the company because he couldn't afford to lose his house and need to provide for his children, and so on. He sold his 10% for $800, which is fine. He needed the money at the time, couldn't afford to take the risk. If he had that now, that'd be worth $75 billion. Sick as a dog. This is a massive business mistake, and it's at number 1, and this is AOL buying Time Warner in 2000 for $164 billion. This is despite all the analysts saying don't do it, it's dumb. Most people valued the company between $90 billion and $110 billion, but instead they decided to go through with it anyway. And the world is still surviving now. You guys will be shocked to hear how much it cost them both. In 2009, both the companies were split off from each other. AOL, which did originally buy Time Warner for $164 billion, is now only worth $1.8 billion. And Time Warner, the original company that was bought, is only worth $40 billion. That is a huge mistake. So if you do the sums, you can see that is $122 billion that have been lost by a mistake. Well, that's the end of the first ever top 5 list. Please give me feedback, guys, all of it helps. This will be uploaded to MTM Moonlight and the new channel MTM Lists Everything.